Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us to our second Revizto quick dive of the year about unveiling the secrets behind choosing Revizto for integrated AEC projects. My name is Stephanie Guzman. I am the marketing coordinator here at Revizto, and I'm happy to co-host Tiffany. So let's go into the housekeeping. So the webinar is being recorded, and the link will be sent tomorrow in the Zoom follow-up email to all registrants. Make sure you use the chat box as you did right now to engage with us and other attendees. Also, make sure you use the Q&A box to submit your questions. We will be answering them at the end. Keep an eye out for the polls. We have 2 polls today, and we want you to participate live with us. And to keep up with future webinars and events, please follow us at Revizto on LinkedIn. All right, so now to introduce our host, Tiffany Willard. She's Revizto's Territory Sales Executive for the North Central USA. Tiffany has over 20 years of experience in sales and has been in the AEC software industry since 2009, and she also joined Revizto in 2022. Tiffany is a dynamic professional skilled at helping architects, engineers, and construction professionals find software solutions tailored to the AEC industry. So now I'm going to pass it along to her so she can give us the great content she has for us today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that introduction, Stephanie. And hello, everyone. We are thrilled to have you with us today. And clearly, there's something about Revizto that has caught your eye. And I'm curious to know what it is. So those of you who are in the chat, go ahead and put in there, type in, what have you heard about Revizto? What have you seen? What really made you decide to invest your time into this quick dive? And as Stephanie has mentioned, my name is Tiffany Willard. I have been working with AEC professionals since 2009. It's really been a fun journey, really watching the industry shift into BIM. And let's be honest, some are still on that journey, and that's perfectly okay. We've got early adopters, we've got tech enthusiasts, and yes, some stragglers, but wherever you fall on that spectrum, we're glad you're here. And I have to tell you, I'm really excited for today's session because we're constantly asked, why should I use Revizto? We already have workflows and tools. What's the benefit? So I hope to answer that question for you today. By the end of this session, my goal is for you to be so intrigued that you reach out to your Revizto rep and schedule a full product demo. So this quick dive is going to be focused on why people are choosing Revizto, because if you experience 1, 2, or all of the reasons we're going to cover today, you really do owe it to yourself to take a serious look at the platform. So let's start from the beginning. Revizto is an integrated collaboration platform. We were founded in 2008. We're headquartered in Lausanne, Switzerland. And the name Revizto comes from the Latin word revisto, meaning visual check. Revizto really is that central hub for coordination, communication, clash automation, issue tracking, and so much more. And regardless of your role or your skill level, Revizto makes it easy for you to access what you need when you need it to make fast, informed decisions, keeping the project moving forward and with higher quality. So today, Revizto is being used around the globe in APAC, EMEA, and the Americas. We have over 2,500 clients, 160,000 users, and an impressive retention rate of 95%. So what that means is 95% of the people who try Revizto on one project will use it again and then expand it across all of their projects. And so before we do go any further, though, I'm going to turn it back over to Stephanie, and we're going to hop into our first poll.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiff. So we just want to know, we're just curious to know if you have heard about Revizto before. Have you seen Revizto in a trade show, other events in your city? Let us know. I feel like, well, we're getting right now a lot of results. Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people who've heard about it, but have never used it.
True. All right.
That's exciting.
So let's just share the results so everyone can see. So there's 50% of the people here that have heard about Revizto, but have never used it. So happy that you're here at this webinar because you're going to learn a lot. So Tiffany, let's get started.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for participating. We're going to dive into the secret behind choosing Revizto, because Revizto isn't just another tool, it's a complete shift in how we approach projects. It's easy to use, it's easy to learn, and it's easy to fall in love with. Back in 2009, when I first started working with AEC professionals, someone once asked me, "Tiffany, do you know what KISS stands for?" I had no clue, and I am curious if any of you do know, since you're already in your chat box, go ahead and type in the chat what you've heard KISS stands for. So again, I had absolutely no clue. And so for those of you who don't know, I will share. It stands for Keep It Simple. And I really feel like that's the secret behind choosing Revizto, to keep it simple. Today we have just a lot of disjointed workflows and systems that make designing, coordinating, and building projects really complicated. I've got 6 reasons as to why it's important to keep it simple. And reason number 1 is infinite file size. The problem with other softwares is that it's not built on a gaming engine. Therefore, they really struggle to open up large files. Revizto has the ability to compress hundreds of gigs of data to make it easy to open and easy to navigate the model and easy to coordinate on projects. Let's take a look at this use case with Maria Sorensen, a senior integrated construction manager at Mortensen, who is working on this complex healthcare project in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 18 months into her project, they had over 100 models and a dozen coordination spaces. Updates and coordination became an arduous task. Maria explained that their workflow was to split the building by floor and by area. So viewing these multiple areas at the same time was super time consuming. It required lots of jumping around between sections and parts of the building. Ultimately, they decided to pivot. 18 months into the project, they switched to Revizto. With Revizto, her team could have the entire model in one space, easily switching between viewpoints. They could slice and dice it however they wanted. Unlike other platforms, which really require combining various views to get the job done, Revizto is going to help you keep everything in one place. Not to mention, it radically simplifies model management. So reason number 2, issue tracking. Everyone likely feels like they're losing track of issues, even with the most organized systems. So it's not uncommon for things to get lost in the sauce. You know, the problem is that there's hundreds of emails, meeting notes, various systems used on projects for communication. So if you're like most people, you'd probably say there has to be a better way, a simpler way, and there is. Revizto's issue tracker will quickly become your new best friend. It connects you to screenshots of the initial issue, as well as with one click, you're able to view all of this information. You're able to jump to the 2D drawings, the 3D model, and over here on this right-hand side, in this column, you can see that each issue has its own unique ID, title, type, status, assignee, priority level, deadline color, creation date, reporters, watchers. So watchers being if you're CC'd on an email. And so in this particular example, I have selected certain search criteria and I've saved it as a preset. So right now I'm able to very quickly go to my issues. Now you can see out of all of the issues on this project, I have 22 issues that I need to be responsible for versus wading through the thousands and hundreds of issues on your project. So be sure to ask your Revizto rep about stamps, because it's an easy way to autofill all of this information with a click of a button. So let's turn to another case study, and this one is with MP Lundy out of Ottawa, Canada. Sean shared that Revizto is not only faster when compared to other software, but it has been proven to be more scalable across their organization. He also shared some specific examples as to how they gained value from using Revisto's issue tracker. So number one, improved coordination with trades. Number two, faster BIM coordination meetings. And number three, quick issue resolution. And we can share both of these case studies with you. Just let us know if you're interested, because you too can kiss the pain away of issue tracking. So next, let's go ahead and talk about clash detection. The current clash detection tools are antiquated. So seriously, they have not changed in 15 to 20 years. Sure, there are add-ons that can make it better, but that just means more subscriptions. You have to, why pay for a clash detection tool, then pay for another tool to group clashes, and then yet another tool to track everything. Plus, not everyone on the project wants or has these programs. They're complicated. They need expensive, high performance computers. And most project managers and owners and field teams simply don't have access to them, meaning these key stakeholders are left in the dark. Long story short, this workflow leads to siloed information. And so if we're trying to employ this keep it simple KISS methodology, we've been failing miserably. Enter Revisto's clash automation. It not only runs sophisticated clash tests on files, objects, and point clouds, but it also offers various clash types. So some customers have even fine-tuned their clash criteria so well that with a click of a button, when they hit run, it automatically detects and assigns the clashes to the appropriate people with all of the predefined specifications and stamps already assigned out. So I'm curious, how many hours of your life have you wasted sitting there creating viewpoints or creating a PDF to push clashes out? Another fantastic feature that I think we really need to highlight in Revisto is that we have the ability to democratize clashes. So gone are the days that one poor soul is stuck federating the model, running clash detection, and assigning out those clashes. Now your trades can run their own clash test and really solve issues before the next coordination meeting. Everyone gets 24/7 access to keep the project moving forward. So this bottleneck completely eliminated. And I have to tell you, I have never heard anyone say that they want to go back to their 20-year-old clash tool after using Revisto. Never, ever. Just yesterday, I was actually talking to someone who was looking at Revisto to use a project, and we asked him, like, what have you heard about Revisto? And he said, I've heard that people get spoiled when using Revisto and they never want to go back. So let's go ahead and keep it simple. Step into the future with Revisto's clash automation. Reason number 4, mobility. So field teams are the ones really turning these plans into reality. Superintendents, foremen, they can spend hours trekking between the job site and the job trailer. So while there are other tools out there, right, that can access information in the field, none do it quite like Revisto. So with all of the time and energy and money invested in BDC, it's really time that we do a better job getting BIM to field. Revisto works flawlessly on a tablet and a smartphone, even without internet. Teams can download offline to have access to walk the job site that might have spotty or even no Wi-Fi at all. They can make markups, notes, add photos and comments directly into the system. And then when they come back online, everything is all synced up. So now field teams really can be self-sufficient, reviewing the models and drawings and commenting without hunting down a BIM box or some other way. So let's go ahead, let's keep it simple. And number 5, point clouds. As scanners have become more affordable, we're seeing that firms are scanning more projects and they're scanning their own projects. However, these heavy scan data can end up gathering dust on a shelf because people don't have the right computers or programs to open and leverage it. And so Revizto does accept most point cloud file types. So now you have the ability to gain visual context with progress or existing conditions. With Revizto, you can even clash against a point cloud. So if you are scanning your projects or thinking about starting to scan, Revizto really is a game changer. Here you have point cloud accessibility made easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And here we are at number 6. So reports and dashboards. In the chaotic world of construction with communication and coordination happening in different tools and different systems, there's really no easy way to track progress. Most people are still wrestling with manual reports. But fear not, with Revizto, you can automate these reports and dashboards. They can be whisked off to your project teams, project managers, owner reps, and even the elusive owner themselves. And another quick story from a customer who told me, they're like, Tiffany, we can't even drag our owners into the software until now. They absolutely love Revizto. So, I mean, there's no secret that margins are tighter than your jeans after a Thanksgiving dinner. In this competitive industry, we must find a way to differentiate ourselves, right? It's a very competitive market, and now you can do that with Revizto. And I thought we could wrap up by just talking about a few ROI metrics. Earlier, we talked about MP Lundy, and in that same case study, they identified how Revizto is providing them a return on their investment. And really, I feel like the stats are staggering. And I really like this quote from Sean Lundy, president and CEO of MP Lundy, where he said that on a $75 million project, they saved 7 weeks using Revizto, which equaled a cost savings of $323,000 that the owner would have otherwise paid on site management costs. And additionally, we estimated that each clash detected in advance is worth approximately $3,000 in time. So in that same project, they had 250 clashes that were detected in advance, resulting in a total savings of $750,000 for the client. So as much as I would like to keep going, that's all the time I have. I really appreciate you guys being here. And remember, keep it simple with Revizto. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Stephanie. We're going to do one last poll, and then we're going to just jump right into the Q&A.
Thank you, Tiffany. So for the last poll, we just want to know if you want to know more about what you heard today. So please let us know. We can, while you guys are answering, we can move on to the Q&A. If you have any questions, please add it in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom. But meanwhile, while we receive the questions, Tiffany, I'm just curious, from all of the functionalities that you just mentioned in this webinar, is everything available in the mobile app in Revizto?
Yeah, Stephanie, that's a great question. So basically everything that we've covered today is accessible on the tablet and your smartphones, with the exception of Clash, which you wouldn't want to run a Clash test on a tablet or smartphone anyway. Some of the functionality is going to be slightly different. So instead of using a mouse, you're going to be using your thumbs to navigate the model. So there are some slight nuances, but everything is really quite similar. So if you get comfortable and familiar with the desktop application, I mean, that's easily going to translate over into the mobile apps.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I think we don't have any more questions. So we can go to the next slide.
Sure.
Yeah. So here, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us through LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or Tiffany herself. Let me see. Oh, actually, we got one question. You said that many formats of data images are compatible. Which ones?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So Revizto is compatible with all of the major players. So there's a couple, we're compatible with over 30 authoring tools, so we can get you a full complete list, but all of the major ones, Civil 3D, um, Revit as well. I mean, we'll get you a full list of all of the compatibility. We also have integrations with Procore and BIM 360. So various integrations that's going to really help simplify that workflow. Yeah, good question.
Awesome. And then we have another one. Does Revizto do 3D modeled rebar clash detection?
That's a great question, and I will say it's above my purview and pay grade. So one thing that I didn't talk about that I think is important to know, Revizto has a complete staff of implementation service managers, so folks that actually come from industry, and they would work with you to set up and implement Revizto and really walk you through a lot of those in-depth technical type of clash detections. With the clash automation, you can really set some pretty intricate, complex clashing where you're ignoring insulation or doing certain different types of clashes. So that's a great question, and I would defer that to one of our implementation managers.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany, for
Yeah,
also hosting this amazing webinar and very insightful. Thank you,
yeah.
everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.